Football will undeniably be the best sport once we figure out the CTE stuff. The reason why I say that is because there's no other sport like football. Football is the only sport where it doesn't matter how much you weigh, how tall you are, or what culture you come from. You can find a place to play on the field. You can be a part of this game. If you're 6'5" and you weigh 275 pounds and you have no intention of weighing less, you can be a lineman. If you want to be on the offense defending or you want to be on the defense attacking, you can choose. If you are 6'3", you're very smart. You could play quarterback. You could play safety. If you like being the star of the show, you like scoring all the points, you could be a wide receiver. You could be a cornerback. Like, if you just want to be a dog, you just want to be the most productive on the field, but not always get the credit for it, and have really one of the hardest jobs on the field, you could be a running back or a linebacker. Like, there's a place for you. If you don't even want to get hit and you just want to be like really cold at one thing, you can be a kicker or a punter or a gunner. You could be all kinds of stuff, and that's a beautiful thing because it'll introduce you to other cultures, it'll introduce you to other people, it'll give you friends from all walks of life, all shapes and sizes. The other part of it is that it's the closest thing to chess. If you're playing football, you're basically playing chess. On the chessboard, there's the king, that's the quarterback. You got your wide receivers, those are like the pawns and the knights. You got the running back, it's like the rook. Like the linemen, those are like the pawns. You feel me? Like there's just like all kinds of things on the field, and maybe those pairings are not correct. But my point is, like, it's a very strategic game. These coaches that are out here, they're playing chess with the players. And if you see like a new coach come in, they bring a new strategy to the game, and nobody can defend it. And that's when they make these playoff runs. Like Sean McVay, when he first became like a head coach, like pretty soon he got to the Super Bowl and they won the Super Bowl. And then they figured out how to defend his scheme, and now he's got to figure out another scheme, but he's still perfecting his scheme. And that happens pretty often, especially with the newer wave of coaches, and that's dope. It's a very intellectual game whenever you're able to understand the dynamics of it and how it works. So it's not just like a bunch of dudes going out there hitting each other, being a bunch of brutes, like a bunch of dummies. Like, that's not really what it is. There's a lot of skill and finesse that goes into the game. So, number one, it brings people together from all shapes and sizes, and anybody can play football. Number two, there's a lot of strategy involved. And number three, it just prepares you for hard work. And, workplace politics, it also prepares you for blue collar work. So blue collar work and white collar work is what football prepares you for. It teaches you how to work hard. I remember going to spring ball and waking up at 5:30 just so I could get to school at 6:30, or get to school at 6 and then get on the field at 6:30. And it's like humid outside. It feels terrible. I don't want to be there. I want to go back to sleep. I went to sleep at 2, playing video games and doing homework. Like, I don't want to be on the field in the morning, and I definitely don't want to have these sticky pads on me, and I definitely don't want to hit somebody in the morning when I'm sticky and sweaty and sleepy. Like, I don't want to do that shit, but I want to be on the football team. I want to play football. I got to go to spring ball. I got to go to two-a-days, especially two-a-days, man, with the hot-ass sun in Texas. Like, bruh, like, super hot. You got these pads on, and you're, like, just out there getting boiled, bro. Like, you're just out there getting like cooked with the sun, the Texas heat, and then you got the petals from the turf, the rubber pellets from the turf, like radiating the heat back up to you. And it's just a very uncomfortable sport to play, and that's how blue collar work is. Like, I never went to the oil field, but I got plenty of friends who went to the oil field, and it translates very well, and I can see the similarities without even having to go there. But even if you want me to have some actual experience, like, I cut grass. Like, I cut grass part-time. I used to do it full-time, and it gets hot out there, bro. And I'm out there, I got gloves just like I used to have gloves. I got specific boots just like I used to have cleats. Like, I got cargo pants. They're basically football pants. Like, it's not very different, and the pipeline from football to blue collar worker is very strong, and it makes a lot of sense, and that adds up. But even then, with the white collar job, like, I remember there was a time when I wasn't starting and I was on JV at the time, and I was like, bro, I'm a cornerback. I should be starting. I'm cold. I'm good at my job. I need to be starting. How come I'm not starting? So I had to go and ask my coach, how come I'm not starting? Like, what's the deal? And he was like, yo, you need to do this, you need to do that. And sure enough, the next week I was starting. Like, I just had to play the political game. And I had to get myself up on the depth chart. I had to show them that I'm with that. I'm capable and I'm the right guy for the job. So that's another way that it translates. Now, as for the downsides of it, it's CTE, man. It's a dangerous sport to play. I mean, part of the reason why a lot of people fell in love with it was because of how violent it is. But let's be real, man. If I had a child right now, I would definitely be concerned for his health. I would still probably make him play it, or yeah, I would still probably make him play it because of all the things that I learned from it. But I would definitely be worried. I don't want my baby to get hurt. You know what I mean? But um, that's the only downside to it. And also, it costs a lot of money to have the equipment if you're not, in the States. And so once technology is able, and the helmets and the pads are able to prevent CTE, and we're able to play the game at the highest level without having to worry about guys wanting to unalive themselves in their early 20s and their 30s and 40s and 50s after their career or during their career, or for the rest of their lives, this sport is going to be undeniably the best for all the reasons I laid out prior. And I always love football, man. And even with the World Cup coming around, I remember like Holland is a dope guy. I've known about Holland for a while because I used to play FIFA, and FIFA taught me about the whole game of soccer, and that's a whole nother culture that is actually dope and really cool in its own right. But Holland, Zlatan Ibrahimovic, like those are tall players. They're really big athletes. But in the States, bro, we got those players, but they just play football and they play basketball. And they play football and they play basketball because we grew up in the States. If we want to live in the States and we want to become world-class athletes, we wouldn't play soccer, because if we played soccer, we would have to go live in Europe. And we don't know anything about Europe. We want to stay in the States. So it makes sense why, like, the best U.S. athletes play football and basketball and baseball. So my point with that is that once we get the sport to the rest of the world, they're going to start playing it. And the NFL knows that. That's why the first few games of the NFL seasons as of late have been in Brazil and Canada and England and Mexico. It's because we're trying to grow the game, because we know how great it is. The NFL knows that if they grow the sport to other countries, they'll get more viewership and obviously get more money. But even from just a purist point of view and the culture's point of view, if we grow this sport, we show it to other parts of the world, they're going to be interested in it. They're going to see the value in it, and the sport's going to grow. And then the sport's going to get better, and it's going to be like basketball. Like now we got basketball players that are better than the guys that are from the USA, and they're from different countries, like Luka and what's the dude from the Nuggets name, man? Jokic. Like, that's a beautiful thing. The sport is getting better because more people are interested in it. So instead of just having like one USA coach every year that has a new meta, has a new scheme, a new strategy that the rest of the league doesn't understand because they had never dealt with it before, we're going to have coaches from different countries doing that and players from different countries doing that. And that's a beautiful thing. So I wanted to talk about that today. I just wanted to express my love for the game of football and show you the different lessons that I've learned from it. Quick announcement is that I started posting these on podcasts. So if you listen to Apple Podcasts or Spotify, you can listen to me yap and talk about my ideas and thoughts on there if you're cutting grass or driving or doing something where you can't watch. And also, I know that I kind of tend to yap and speak a little bit inefficient, and I mean, this is just a stream of consciousness that I record, and I record it for you to hopefully learn something and get some inspiration, but also for me to make sure I'm on the same page with myself. And I recommend putting it on 1.5x speed or 2x speed if you really just want to get to the message and the crux of it. But yeah, I'll get to the next one.